I say shockingly because, well, you know Donovan, and you know me, and you know us. He tightened his hold around my waist and leaned in. I might need you to do that darkness thing. I leaned back and looked at him. What darkness thing? You know, that thing you do where you take away all the light. Quenching? I asked. You want me to quench? Why? He rocked his head side to side as he spoke. Just, if we're falling behind. When it was clear I wasn't following, he sighed and added, whenever the other person is about to make their toss, you quench the lights, and maybe they miss. I shook my head. You're unbelievable. That would be using magic, and you know that's not allowed in the tournament. He rolled his eyes. Yeah, I know that. But who here would even know what was happening? Have you done it in front of anyone? Donovan, I did it in this very bar. I'm sure some of the people here tonight were there that time, too. You mean with Slash and Seamus and Lucent? I nodded, but he waved it off with his beer hand, causing a small splash to jump out over the lip of his mug. Half the people who were there that night have since been arrested, and the other half probably didn't know what hit them. He had a point, but I had a card yet to play. Ruby's right over there. She would know what was happening. And if you think she wouldn't report me to Liberty Freeman immediately, you don't know Ruby. Donovan sighed. Okay, fine. No quenching. But maybe you can show it off later when it's just you and me. I groaned at his ridiculousness, but allowed him to kiss me. Well, allowed sounds like I didn't kiss him right back. I did. And why not? I was already a beer deep. It wasn't exactly a secret that he and I were together, and we were by no means the only couple getting a little handsy in Sheehan's that night. Since it was a Saturday, a lot of the folks there had been drinking since the place opened that morning. Hey, everyone has to let their hair down sometime, and when you live in such close proximity to beings as deadly as Eastwind held claim to, the need to relax only grew stronger. Liberty Freeman called our names, and I broke the kiss to realize all eyes were on us. Oh, shoot, I said. I guess we're up. Emma Jean Hopespring, who the town had warmed up to quite well over the past few months, would officiate our match as Liberty managed the other table. Both genies were too powerful to participate. Pretty much everything they did had a touch of magic mixed in to the point where it was impossible for them to follow the no magic regulation. So instead, they called the games. And that was probably better anyway. Turned out, Liberty's charisma and ability to work a crowd was rivaled only by that of his now fiancé. Emma Jean ran through the house rules as a formality, and Donovan and I moved to either end of the table. We were up against Landon Hawker and Grace Merriweather, and Donovan had called it an easy win for us. I wasn't so certain. Sure, Grace was ready to pop with a baby any minute, and cared much more about finishing whatever book she was reading than socializing in Sheehan's. But Landon had been playing this game against the best of the best, Ted and Count Sebastian Malevich, for years. He presented a challenge. They split up, and Landon came to stand on my side, which meant he and I would be going head-to-head each round, while Donovan and Grace competed for points on their end of the board. I wasn't terrible at the game. I'd played my fair share of shuffleboard in bars in my earlier years, back before I died and came to Eastwind. And Scufflepuck was a lot like that, only with way more minor explosions and slightly different scoring. Plus, Donovan had conjured up a Scufflepuck table in his house the month before and had been training me well past the point where it was any fun. Fortunately, I did know one way to bring the practice session to a screeching halt, and I'd used the trick countless times. It involved unbuttoning his shirt, and it worked a little like magic. But even though Donovan was clearly the more competitive of the two of us, if I was going to play, I was going to play to win. I nodded at Landon. It's okay if you're a little rusty.